The Law of Polarity. What if I told you that all struggles, all setbacks, all so-called negative things in your life are the key to their own transformation? That light and darkness, success and failure, love and fear are not opposing forces, but two sides of the same energy. This is the Law of Polarity, an ancient frequency truth that teaches us a deep principle. Everything is on a spectrum, and through knowing this, you can gain the power to change your reality. Today, we're going in depth on this soul-altering spiritual principle, learning how opposites aren't just related, but are actually one and the same thing, simply at different places on the scale. Master this, and you master energy itself. Consider the last time you experienced profound frustration. Perhaps things were not going in your favor, or you were mired in negativity. Now picture the opposite, a flash of pure joy, triumph, or insight. These feelings may seem worlds away from each other, but what if they were simply varying degrees of the same energy? This is the Law of Polarity, one of the spiritual laws for contemporary living that shows us how everything has an opposite, and yet those opposites are really the same. Heat and cold, love and hate, abundance and lack. They all lie on the same spectrum, differing only in degree. Use temperature as an example. There is no specific dividing point where hot turns into cold. It's all simply degrees of the same thermal energy. It's the same thing for emotions, success, and even consciousness itself. Once you see that, you can move any experience along its continuum. This is not philosophy. It's spiritual physics discovered through both science and ancient wisdom. Quantum physics demonstrates that matter can be both a wave and a particle simultaneously, depending on how one chooses to view it. What appears paradoxical is actually evidence that opposites do indeed exist in harmony. The true strength of this revolutionary spiritual awareness is that once you see each challenge contains the seed of its resolution, you can start changing your reality. And that's where mental polarity and transmutation art enters the picture. If all things in life are on a spectrum, then so are your emotions. Fear and bravery, sorrow and happiness, worry and calm. These aren't different forces, but varying levels of the same force. And that means you're never really trapped in a negative place. You can change it. This is the energy mastery of mental transmutation, where you can shift from one feeling to another as easily as turning up or down the thermostat in a room. It's not about suppressing painful feelings or imposing false happiness. It's about realizing that feelings are fluid, not static. Consider fear. Its opposite is courage. But if you're engulfed by fear, leaping directly to courage seems impossible. Instead, picture a ladder. Fear, worry, concern, caution, confidence, courage. You don't need to jump from one end to the other. You only need to move one step at a time. From fear to worry is simpler. From worry to concern, still simple. Small movements gain momentum, and before you know it, you've altered your entire mindset. This revolutionary spiritual awareness is the reason why the Law of Polarity is so powerful. As soon as you see that every negative feeling holds within it the seed of its opposite, you acquire the power to change your reality on the inside and the outside. Because when you alter the way you feel, you alter the way you behave. And when you alter the way you behave, life reflects back to you in like kind. The Law of Polarity not only defines your emotions, but it also is a strong force in your relationships. Have you ever noticed that opposites attract? The extrovert attracts the introvert. The analytical mind mates with the intuitive dreamer. The spontaneous adventurer romances the planner. These attractions are not by chance. They're spiritual physics revealed in human union. Deep down, polarity in relationships brings balance and expansion. We're attracted to people who have something we don't think we possess. A highly emotional individual may feel comfortable with a logical partner. A formal person may like the spontaneity of someone less structured. These polarities bring tension naturally, but they also bring wholeness. But polarity is either empowering or destructive. In well-adjusted relationships, opposites bring out the best in one another, but in dysfunctional relationships, they create codependency and imbalance. When one tries to suppress their own polarity and relies too heavily on the other to complete them, tension is created. A strong leader can turn controlling. A caring giver can lose themselves in over-caretaking. The solution is self-awareness. The more you own both polarities inside yourself, logic and intuition, strength and softness, independence and connection, the less you need to use other relationships to fix what you sense is lacking. Rather than opposites colliding, they come together in harmony, forming more profound, more conscious connections. When you know the law of polarity in relationships, you no longer look for someone to make you whole. Rather, you draw yourself to those who enhance the wholeness you have already developed within yourself. The law of polarity reminds us that opposites are not distinct from one another. They are joined, merely different intensities of the same force. But the most profound, soul-altering spiritual idea extends yet further. You are not limited by polarity. You are free to rise above it. At first, this might sound impossible. After all, life seems to be built on opposites, good and bad, light and dark, success and failure. But what if these aren't conflicting forces? What if they are simply two aspects of the same whole? Older traditions of wisdom taught long ago that enlightenment can come not through partisanship towards one over against the other, but through merging of both the poles into harmony. This is the kind of awareness wisdom teaching in personal development invites you into. That a state of non-duality wherein you cease viewing things as either and begin realizing everything in between. Consider the yin-yang symbol. The black half has a seed of light, and the white half has a seed of darkness. They don't battle one another, they complement each other. The same reality holds true for your life. Your challenges have the seeds of your development. Your fears carry the power of your bravery. Your failures bear the knowledge of your triumph. When you cease fighting one side of polarity and begin to accept both, you unleash a life-redefining spiritual awareness. There is no good or bad, only experience. And all experience is leading you toward more understanding, balance, and transformation. The law of polarity is not some theoretical concept. It's a transformative spiritual awareness that can change the way you approach challenges. When you realize that every challenge has its opposite within it, you no longer feel stuck. Instead, you begin to ask, how can I turn this around? Consider David, for instance. He was extremely judgmental of others, perpetually criticizing people for their weaknesses, expecting impossible things from them. This created tension in his relationships and a stressful work climate. But after getting the wisdom teachings on self-transformation, he understood something deep. Judgment and acceptance are merely two sides of the same coin. Rather than trying to make himself be more accepting all at once, which never succeeded, he began small. When a critical thought occurred, he inserted one little phrase: and that's okay. Rather than, they're so lazy, he would think, they're so lazy, and that's okay. This little adjustment started taking him along the spectrum, from criticism to tolerance, then understanding, and ultimately to acceptance. In a matter of weeks, David's relationships were better, not because other people had changed, but because he had. The world did not seem so infuriating anymore. He had learned to transform his mental polarity, moving from negative to peaceful, a step at a time. This is the ancient wisdom of the law of polarity in motion. Every negative state has its positive opposite. Every challenge holds within it the solution. When you learn to traverse the spectrum, you develop the ability to shift not only your mind, but your entire world. The law of polarity reveals a profound truth. Nothing is purely negative or positive. Everything exists on a spectrum. Once you understand this, you gain the power to shift your emotions, transform challenges, and reshape your reality. Every struggle contains its own solution. Every failure holds the seed of success. Master this, and you master life. If this ancient spiritual wisdom resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below. What's one polarity you're working to shift right now? Let's grow together. In the next video, we'll explore the law of rhythm, how everything flows in and out, rises and falls according to measurable cycles. Until we meet again, may you find the gift in every challenge on your journey.